don't personally see a giant boom in these types of developments. What this issue really reminds me of, and I'm not sure who's seen it, but the KUOW article about war boxes. I don't know if anybody saw that or not. But this sort of reminds me of that we're creating, we have a huge need for housing. And so we're in a sense in a war, right? We have tons of homeless. We have an epidemic out there of homelessness, substance use disorder, mental wellness issues, all kinds of things that are going on. And we need war boxes in our communities. And I can definitely respect what Councilmember Younger is talking about the missing middle class. I'm an older millennial, proud, born in 1979, and I've never been in a situation, in a position to be able to own my own home. And I even tried recently, and this market was crazy. And so there weren't a lot of options for me. And I did want to ask quickly, there was a comment from the public about rent stabilization, which I think, and Ms. Fennell, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's actually legislature that kind of like I think it's frowned upon in our state. We don't have rent control in Washington state. Am I wrong?
We don't. It's preempted.
Okay, so we can't do rent stabilization, rent control. There's no options for that. And so then we have several council members that believe that if we have more housing, that we will in fact have lower rents, that more housing, that we're not, but I don't personally believe that. I would love if one of you council members who believes that more housing equals lower rents, can you send me a study where that's actually worked in the community? Because I've been out there looking for these studies and I haven't found one. I do believe that more housing is better, that it provides more opportunities for folks to get a home. But what I just don't believe that it'll lower rents. Rents are going to keep going up. But that's neither here nor there. We need housing. I want to address really briefly, as briefly as I can, the issues regarding homelessness and tie that into a conversation real quick, not even a conversation, just a statement about the religious exemption, which is state mandated. We can't get around that. But what I really appreciate that the city has done, that the administration has done, is to put some boundaries on how the religious organizations can apply for this bonus density. So I appreciate that the city had the forethought to put some restrictions, boundaries in place in order to try to mitigate that. I am hopeful, even though I'm not part of a faith-based community, I am hopeful that religious organizations and BHA will take advantage of these programs in order to increase housing for folks that are in need. That's why I'm a huge supporter of this. And that's all I really have to say about that. I tried to make it brief. I get to be chair today, so I guess that means I get last word. I did want to ask really quickly, Mr. Jackson, a statement you made early on in your presentation. It says, you said, in part, BHA supports these amendments. Was it amendments or the criteria? And I wanted to know what you meant by in part, and if the BHA has any reservations about the code as presented.
No, it was the bonus density was extended specifically to BHA, and that's what we engaged with them on primarily, and that's what their letter was in support on. So that's why I said in part, because it was specific to the bonus density, because they're included in it.
Okay, thank you very much for that clarification. And so the BHA has a stellar record. They're really great at not only getting the data, but getting the grants and facilitating that. And I think we do need more affordable housing for folks to be able to use vouchers on. And I want to echo the community members' concerns that this is going to be like a luxury. You know, I am concerned about that, but I don't see this zone change being a huge boom in housing. And I do hope that it provides more options for folks of all different economic levels. Okay, so seeing no further discussion, I call for the question. And Ms. Hoover, you are back. So I'm sure Ms. Smith is very happy to turn it back over to you. Not that she's wasn't very capable and happy to take over.
No problem. Thank you for your patience. Do you hear me okay? Perfect.